Hello everybody, it is Saturday the 30th of September. I want to talk about what it says in the Bible, that the truth will set you free. That is to say, what was given to us to save us is not Jesus the man, but the knowledge that he brought. And then really want to talk about applied spirituality. And that is applied in this world, because it is here that it will set us free and that it will save us, that knowledge. So I want to talk about just starting again where I left off in my last video. And just to recap, when I was thinking about David Icke, yeah? And when I was in Belfast, there was a question and answer, and I had the question kind of written on a piece of paper, and then I never put it in. I don't know why. But see, he is channeling. He is receiving information from somewhere. Yeah? He connected to something. And my question to him would have been, do you know the source of where that knowledge is coming from? And do you know with which intention that knowledge is being given? Because the sources have their own intention. Yeah? And you're being led on a path that will lead you to an outcome, to an intended outcome, but then it is their choice. They have already chosen the outcome, they're just leading you on a path to it. So you need to know the source, you need to understand the intention of the source. If you follow something that you hear, that you receive, an awareness, an information that comes to you on the spiritual path through channeling, it's basically the same thing. Different words, slightly different understanding in this day and age. Where people that channel already understand that they are in contact with other beings. Yeah, not gods, not out there so much greater, but other beings. So I didn't ask him that question, but I was thinking about it. What is the source? And just what he said, which really got me thinking about it, because I so completely disagreed with what he was saying, is, I am infinite awareness. I am all. I'm all there ever is and ever will be. And then, anything is possible, overcome fear, to hell with the consequences. And I was thinking, no. Why should I say to hell with the consequences? I'm the one that's suffering them. Yeah? Anyway, so but I was disagreeing. That got me thinking about that. And the source, where this idea, this thought came from, I was thinking he might actually be channeling or he may have gone into the bubbles of the elites themselves. That is how they think about themselves. I am all. I am infinite awareness. Nothing has prevented me. I can do whatever. There will be no consequences because I'm this all-powerful being. Because if you think about it, if you are the point, and you are the point from which you stretch out, and if you go into, let's say, as he says, I'm now going into the field of spirituality, if that's what is in actuality happening to him, so that is to say, you spread out, the first thing your energy will hit is that which is the closest to you. And then you go out from there. Now, another thing is that it is most likely where your focus is. where your thoughts are already and your emotions are already attached to a certain point where your focus is, that is where you will be channeling for. Now, David Icke has been focused on the elites for over 20 years. So then if his energy goes out, it enters the realm of spiritual knowing, where would it go? Where would the knowledge come from? Would they not be the source? Because that's where he is focused. And I said in my last video, that is why seeing something as a separate solid form would actually help you pinpoint the source, because you can see it, from which these messages are coming from. And to me it makes perfect sense that they would see themselves in that way, and that would explain an awful lot of what's going on in this world. And I also thought that what it says in the Kybalion about the contemplation of all, and then really, again, yourself, because that is spirituality. It starts from self. So you see yourself as all. Yeah, that's... And then it says clearly in the Kybalion that, first of all, the contemplation of all would make you unfit for life, and secondly, it will lead to insanity, and that is pretty much what we're seeing. They're insane, because they are seeing themselves as all. And here's knowing the source from which an information is coming, that what is the end point from where you're channeling. Because at the moment we say, well, it's the universe, it's coming from everywhere. Basically, you don't know the source. But there must be a point somewhere from where it's coming. And as I said, the source may be a lot closer to home. It may not be all the way out there. And that is, I think, what has been done in religion and in many other, spiritual teachings. They have connected to a source. I would say there are many sources out there, many pockets of consciousness, worlds, that are all knowing according to themselves out of their own experience. And then what came back is then being said as, that is the one truth. Yeah? This is a universal knowledge. It's true in the universe. I am all. Whereas you may have just hit a pocket of elites, and hopefully what they're thinking is not universal. To make a knowledge like that all, to say it's universal, when you don't even know the source where it's coming from. Because that would make things an awful lot clearer if you did. But, so I want to come to applied spirituality. Well, first of all, thinking about the elites, they cannot work this on a spiritual way because they are not connected to one another. They are in the pyramid system. They are not connected to one another, but they are connected to the one thing at the top, which, as I said, God is usually an intention or an intended outcome. Yeah? And they are all serving that. And if they are connecting to one another, then it's only in service to that, not in service to one another. In fact, they are in competition with one another. Yeah? Because they are creating this outcome, and now, since they have invested all their energy in that outcome, they are now stakeholders in that outcome. And the more you serve the outcome, the higher up you will be once that world is created. And again, I do believe there is something out there that is giving them the information, and the intention, the source of the intention is out there somewhere. Yeah? the intention to have dominion over this world. It's not of this world. Jesus clearly said it wasn't. So and it has given to them, and they are now caught in having to serve the one, and if they don't, they're going to get cancelled. They themselves will get cancelled. They need to be faithful servants. And as I said, they are in competition with one another, and in that way they are divided. And this setting man in competition with one another has actually been done since, well, in the Bible, since Cain and Abel. So, and the knowledge that they are being given is not spiritual knowledge. To them, knowing the one, having channeled that is the spiritual knowledge. And then it brings into this world knowledge of what? Technology. At the moment it seems to be the thing that would aid them to become the rulers of this world. Yeah, the knowledge they're given is not spiritual, it's materialistic. But they've built a world out of this. They have built communication systems, they've got the weapons, they've diddling with the food supplies, diddling with the food itself, anything and everything. Yeah, but it's all materialistic knowledge. So, now let's talk about applied spirituality. And that is that we realize that we are the source, each and every one of us is the source of a spiritual energy, and that we can give to one another. We can give the knowledge of ourselves to one another, and then in the next instance, if many of us come together in one intention, that will be given to. If man is one, that's the Tower of Babel. If man is one, nothing will be prevented them. Yeah, you will be given. So, I mean, what would that have implications for in this world? Let's talk like them. You know, the implication of spiritual knowledge in this world. It would have implications for communications, for food supply, because that was one of the miracles, you know, manifesting food. Healing, medicine, healing. What is it they, at the moment, on a materialistic level, have got the complete hold of? Communications, food supplies, medicine. Yeah, and we are working within their system, so we are completely trapped. And when it comes to spiritual knowledge, we're being told, oh, it's all the way out there. Yeah? Or if we are channeling something, we are automatically thinking, oh, it's coming from all the way out there. Because this is just matter and, you know, there's no spiritual here. It is here. And it would have great implications of how we communicate with each other, how we heal each other, how we even most likely get food for each other. So, get out of the clouds. Get out of thinking it's somewhere else. And work it here. Bring that knowledge to earth. Make it work. Serve on earth. Serve us. Yeah? And again, you have spiritual groups and they're coming together. Oh yeah, and we are connecting with what? Something else out there that you know nothing about. Unless, if you were to connect to some, you know, and then you have this idea of, you know, or the astrofield, and it's full of demiurges and demons and God knows what. Now, I would say there are bad intentions out there. Those, they're not benign toward us. I'm sure there are good intentions out there. Yeah? It's not all bad. But the fact is you don't know. You don't know what you are connecting to. You don't know their intentions. Even if you see them, and if they start, if that other reality is starting to take form for you, like in Plato's cave. Once first you're blinded by the light, then more and more it starts to take form, and you can make out the forms, and then it becomes a solid world. Once you know it, it becomes a solid world. But right now, you do not know. So then, how do we get away from the demiurges? Now the next step, and I've said it myself, we need to get past the gods. We need to get past the astral field out there to avoid the demiurges. Or another way of avoiding the demiurges would be, don't go there. Just don't go there. If you don't know what you're dealing with, walk away. But then in this world, if we were to work spirituality, our spirituality in this world, that is to say, we would connect to something that we already know in the solid form, so we have some knowledge of it. We already have got some idea what it is we're connecting to before we even do it. And would that not make things an awful lot safer if you already know it on one level? So yeah, get out of the heavens. And if we were to apply this, work it in this world, to give, and we need to give to one another, we need to connect to one another. We already are. We need to be aware of it and really start working, giving and receiving on those connections on a higher level, on a stronger level, through awareness that we are doing it. And then if we are now dependent on the materialistic world, which they have sewn up with their technology, with everything they're doing, they have their solid, their materialistic power structure. But what if we were to work this with each other on a different level? How would they prevent that? How would they prevent that? Especially because I really do not think they have that spiritual knowledge. They have spiritual knowledge of just one point. And they are the deers in the headlight. And they do not see each other. They're not connected to each other. They're in competition with one another. They're divided. So they don't actually have that knowledge. And if we were to work that knowledge, we have that knowledge, we work it, saying that this is real. Spirituality is real. It's an aspect of this reality that we are not aware of. It's not supernatural, it's natural. It is natural to us to be spiritual beings and to work this reality on that level. It's not a miracle, it is how it is. We're just not knowing it. And if we did that, how would they prevent us then? If we became as one, and if we came together in small groups to bring things into reality, and again, do not bring other beings into reality. We don't need them in the mix. We have enough problems as it is. But manifest what we need. Heal each other, especially after what's been happening in the last 2 years. how would they prevent us then? What on earth could they do about it? Then we would be free. And then we come to, again, full circle to the beginning of the video, which says the truth will set you free. If you, when the time comes and you know what he has been saying, what he has taught about what is possible to us, and then work it, not sit back and have somebody else give it to you, you have to work it yourself, and then that will set us free. It will set us free from the tyranny of that beast system, because we will be working this reality on a different level. Anyway, I leave it at that for today, and I talk to you again soon. Bye.